Hey guys, my name is Samuel, and today I'm excited to say that the Battlefield 4 summer patch, the one that we've been waiting on for a long time now, has finally arrived, and it's looking amazing. The first thing that I have to talk about is, of course, the new Zavad Night Shift map. We've been talking about this for many months now, and they haven't changed a whole lot since the last time I talked about it, so I'm not going to go in too much detail, but it's still as amazing as it is. You're going to have to think about combat differently, you're going to have to slow down, you're not going to be able to rush around as quickly as you're used to because someone might be hiding in the shadows, but I think for the most part, DICE has done a fantastic job with this map, and a lot of people are going to be happy with it. One thing I am a little disappointed by though, and this might just because my expectations were too high, is that DICE announced that there was going to be an even darker version of this map exclusively for Gunmaster. I logged on today really giddy, really excited about it because I wanted to see what this all-out night combat was going to be like. I assumed that it was basically going to be pitch black and you were going to have to rely on basically the Iron V or the flashlight to be able to see the enemy. It sounded incredible. But I searched for this darker version of Gunmaster, and I couldn't find it anywhere. Maybe I just wasn't looking on the right servers, maybe servers haven't implemented it right, but there's two versions of normal Gunmaster. You have the one that everyone's accustomed to, basically the TDM arena, and then there's arena around the B capture point if you're playing on Conquest. That I assumed was supposed to be the darker night version, but as you guys can see right now, it's not really all that dark. And so once again, maybe it's just simply because I had too high of an expectation, maybe they got my hopes up, but so far, unless I'm just missing something, maybe I'm out of the loop and the servers aren't running it right now, but the one that I played on, I was fairly disappointed by what they delivered. The good thing though is that the flashbangs have finally gotten the kick in the face that they deserve. Not only can your teammates not flashbang you, or it only lasts about half a second, it's almost not even noticeable at all, but also it now has a cone of fire to it. So if you're looking directly at the flashbang, of course it's going to have the full effect. But as soon as you start to turn away from it, the severity of it lessens more and more and more, almost to the point where you're not even going to notice it at all. This really is the change that needed to happen. There needed to be skill involved. There needed to be a way where you could react to an enemy throwing a flashbang near you so that if you were skillful enough, or at least if you were observant enough to your surroundings, you could react to it and then hopefully catch your enemy by surprise when they went in for the free kill. And just in general, I think many people are going to be happy with it. One adjustment that I was not expecting at all, though, is that they've slightly improved the SRA. Not only does it travel a little bit faster now, it just reaches its destination quicker, but they've also increased its range. The range upgrade is just a flat-out buff. This is going to make it a lot easier for those players that use this as their primary rocket of choice just to land those long-range shots. It's not going to, of course, allow you to snipe a helicopter across the map. That's still no longer going to be a thing. But if you're going for an enemy tank that might be on an objective where you're on maybe the side of a mountain when you're playing on Hammerhead, it's finally going to be viable. It was very frustrating before the patch when it would explode halfway through traveling, and so I think this is a very nice change. As for the speed upgrade, only time will tell at this point. I think that in the long run, it's going to be a good thing when players finally get adjusted to the new travel speed. But for everyone that did get adjusted to the way that the SRA performed before the big nerf, this will take some more time for you to get acclimated to the new system. Another pleasant surprise is that they've made some tweaks to the way that tracer bullets work on fully automatic weapons. Tracer rounds was something that they added in the last patch. Some people liked it, some people absolutely hated it because there were some weapons, mainly the light machine guns, where the tracer rounds actually obstructed your vision. They were gigantic. Sure, it allowed you to identify where your bullets were landing. That was one nice aspect of it. And so one way that they're working around this small gripe that people had is that now, if you are using a fully automatic weapon, the tracer round, instead of being every single bullet, it will now be every 3 bullets. And so you're still going to be able to identify where your bullets are landing. If you have a lot of bullet deviation, it's going to be abundantly obvious. But for those players that were annoyed by how obvious they were, this is going to be an amazing change. They've also reduced its glow, its size, and its length, so it's not as obvious to begin with. And so the simple fact that it's now going to be every 3 rounds on fully automatic weapons, I think for the most part, many people are going to be happy with this adjustment. Another thing that took me by surprise is that they have slightly reduce the movement of player soldiers when they're strafing to the left and the right. It's not a significant difference. You're not going to feel like you're running through molasses. this. It's not as crazy change by any means, but they wanted to reduce the jitteriness and the jerkiness that happens when you are dancing back and forth. This is going to be an upgrade for people that go for headshots, especially if you're playing as a recon. While it's probably not going to be a night and day difference, just having that small adjustment in that movement speed will make it more obvious where their head is going to be at any given time. They can't jerk back and forth as quickly as they did in the past. And so I'm not exactly sure how this is going to play out in the long run. I don't think this is going to be a significant buff for the recon players and snipers out there, but it will be nice for those players who do go for those consistent headshots. The netcode got even more improvements with this update. This seems to be a trend with every single patch and something that I'm not going to complain about whatsoever. I wish I could go into exact details on what they have done precisely to improve the netcode, but all of these just kind of looks like a foreign language to me. And so, of course, I will leave the patch notes down below if you would like to read through all of them. If you're more well-versed in it and you have a better idea, let everyone know down below. But I'm happy to say that the netcode has seen even more improvements with this patch. And then lastly, I have to mention that they have apparently fixed the fake reload bug that has been plaguing the Battlefield franchise for years now. Like, this has been in every game ever since Battlefield 3 that has used the Frostbite engine, and so the fact that they have finally gone in and fixed it is a glorious day. And so overall, I have been very happy with this update so far. I haven't noticed any large glaring issues. I'm sure after a couple of weeks, we will be able to identify if there are any major bugs that have been created with this update. It's bound to happen. It happens with every single patch that occurs in any video game. So hopefully there isn't going to be anything game-breaking that just ruins Battlefield. I don't think that's going to be the case. But overall, I'm loving what they've done so far, and I'm very happy with the summer patch. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's little update. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on everything that I talked about today. Are you loving the new night map? Do you love the adjustments to the straw and everything else? Let me know down below. But yep, until tomorrow, have a good one and take it easy.